Thank you for joining us on another edition of Room with a View. I'm Bianca Salahshourian, and our topic today, vegetarians and people who devote their lives to animals. Our quote of the week is derived from a British vegetarian activist from the 19th century, and it reads, "Our treatment of fellow humans is largely reflected upon our behavior toward the subhuman races." The theme of today's program is Get Back to Nature, and it means just that, get back to nature. We have become so accustomed to our coveted walls, boxed inside, going from building to building, and we now fear what is outside, what our ancestors have lived so harmoniously with, the natural world. We're afraid of things that scurry about, and living animals. We're not used to these as well anymore. The value of life has diminished consistently, and fear has risen. We are not living with the animal kingdom as we should. Today's delicacies include alligators and lobsters, brains of sheep and baby calf. Do we have to kill and eat everything that moves? How many lives have our stomachs absorbed? Well, there are some humans that are trying to live again with the natural world and not consume the animal kingdom. And they are sometimes considered by some people as perhaps even crazy, but at the end of this show, we're going to show you another way of life, an alternative way of life, actually a very healthy way of life, the life of the vegetarian and the animal lover. Within this half an hour, you will learn how the rainforest benefits by just one person become a vegetarian, and how to enjoy that holiday and the barbecue and not get the veggie blues, as well as if you are raising your children to be vegetarians, how to deal with parents of other children and in telling them that they really don't eat meat. If you stay tuned, at the end of this half an hour, you will also be able to write down the addresses of information and organizations that will be listed at the end of the program. For our guest today, we have Peter Dodge. He is the owner of the Edge of the Woods Supermarket and Cafe in New Haven. Welcome. As well as Lisa Landone, an active vegetarian for the past 3 years. Lisa, what are the typical reactions of people when you tell them that you are a vegetarian?
Well, people who don't really know me well, just, they say, "Oh, that's nice," or, "What do you eat?" They're mainly curious as to what I do eat. And friends, they like to tease me a lot about it. But I let them do it, and I even, go along with them because it makes them more comfortable. It doesn't make them feel uneasy. I don't want them to be worried about what to eat in front of me or what to say or do.
Do they ever try to push you into having some meat?
They don't really try to push me. They'll tease me and say, I'm going to get weak, I'm going to fall apart, and then I show them otherwise,
Right.
But I like to be a good example. I don't want to force my beliefs on anyone. If they like the way if they like that I can stay slim and that I have a lot of energy and things like that, they might on their own, sort of get an idea to follow.
Now, how did you ever take this route? Where did the idea come from?
Well, actually, I think more with my heart than I do with my mind.
You're an animal lover.
I'm an animal lover, very much so. And all my life I struggled back and forth. I stopped eating meat, and then I would eat maybe chicken, and then, went back and forth. And then one day I was just sitting in my kitchen, and I read a PETA magazine. And it had an article about a downed cow, an animal that was so sick and weak, it had to be dragged and kicked and forced to the slaughter.
PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of
Animals. Right. And after reading that article, it's just, there was just no turning back for me. I put it down, I said, I'll never eat meat again, and I never will.
And you never have?
And I never have, and I have no desire to, because of a love for animals.
And Peter, how did you become a vegetarian?
I was at the university at the time, and I decided to take a semester off. I was interested in Eastern philosophy, and that got me into studying things about meditation and yoga. And part of the yogic diet was not to eat meats. And so I decided to follow that path, and I've been on that path now for about 23 years.
23 years. Was it difficult in the beginning? Just to cut out meat? You were eating meat before then?
No, it wasn't. I had a desire to experience something different, and so it really was not difficult for me.
Well, what did your parents say?
Well, there was a reaction. Initially there was a reaction. There's always a reaction to new things, but after a few years they understood, and I wasn't living at home anyway, so it didn't really matter that much. I get grief on the telephone, but
Yeah.
that passed quickly.
Your mom, right?
Both parents.
Yeah, they're worried. But how has this changed your life?
Well, I got into, I should say, being vegetarian. I moved to New Haven, I think it must be 15, 16 years ago. And I was always a member of the co-op and active in the food movements. A buyer at one co-op in Denver and then in New Haven. And there wasn't really a store in the area which was taking care of my needs. And I thought there was enough people out there who were interested in vegetarianism that it would support a store. So we started a small store in New Haven. And
Who's we?
well, there was, again, there was three of us initially started it.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed with it
And now it's
and
yours.
moved to a larger store. And we
Great.
probably have the largest vegetarian supermarket on the East Coast.
Great. Well, I hope you show us some products in just a moment.
I'll do that.
Lisa,
I'm interested.
You, especially the new products,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
You were at a Labor Day party recently
Right.
because I was there.
At your house.
And you ate a hot dog that
Right.
that you didn't want us to use the same spatula as with the other hot dogs to meat franks. What was in that hot dog? It looked just like a hot dog.
Right. It was basically there was tofu, a soy-based product in the hot dog, and tofu, as Peter
Do you
can
want
probably
to
tell
take
you.
that out right now,
Sure.
and we can show our viewers?
It basically
What?
has no taste, so it absorbs whatever flavor you put into it or on it. So they want to make it taste like a hot dog. They can come pretty close.
Right. Let's take a look at these. They're
Oh, let's-
tofu pups instead of a hot dog.
Tofu pups.
Alternative. Oh, what is it? The uncommon
This is the
dog.
uncommon dog,
Mhm.
and Paul McCartney endorses these too.
Really?
So
Turn
you know.
around. Let everybody see it.
Okay.
Look the
How
other
do I
way.
see it? This way?
No.
This way.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
All the way
this way.
It's
Okay.
a hot dog.
It's actually a hot dog. And for as much as I can remember, it tastes pretty darn close to a hot dog.
Yeah.
So when I feel like, I'm a little bored with vegetables, there are a lot of products in the health food store. And Peter's brought some of those that can, really help you.
There's probably about 10 different kinds of vegetarian hot dogs available in the market right
10
now.
different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Some are more spicy, some are less spicy, some have different texture. So definitely there's interest.
Something for everyone.
There's interest in vegetarian hot dogs.
Wonderful. Hamburgers as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's many different kinds of veggie burgers.
Okay.
This one happens to be very good.
All right. Why don't you show us some more products that you have back there?
It's the garden burgers.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Tastes good.
And tastes
Yeah,
good?
it really does.
Great, I'll definitely have to try that. I wanted to ask you what the difference
Bologna.
between... Now it says meatless bologna,
Meatless bologna.
and it's again made with tofu?
Derived from tofu is the first ingredient.
All right, tofu, and then everything has basically a tofu base, so...
Well, a
Are
lot
most
of products do. A
most
lot of products do. I would say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, different things like hot dogs, the bologna, veggie burgers really became very popular.
What makes the tofu taste differently, since it's always the base? What gives it that ability?
It's spicy.
And it absorbs the spices and the taste?
Takes the flavor. Takes the flavor.
Takes upon any flavor that you put on it.
Okay. All right. So anything that you add to the tofu will absorb that as well?
It'll take that flavor.
Now, what is the difference, Peter, between a vegetarian and a vegan? Am I pronouncing that correctly? A
vegan,
vegan?
right. I think it's degrees of vegetarianism. Anyone who's vegetarian, let's say there's different vegetarians. A vegetarian could be one who would eat eggs, eat dairy products, would not eat meat. Or there's just vegetarians who just eat vegetables and don't eat any dairy products, don't eat eggs. That would be a vegan, someone who does not eat any animal products.
All right,
Would
now,
probably not even use honey as a sweetener.
really? Now, vegan they're just as healthy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm feeling very healthy. What is that basic nutrient? All of tofu has protein. It's a
It's
high
a great
protein.
source of
A
protein.
great
Right.
source of protein. right.
So in place
Soybeans.
of chicken,
Right.
parents are always saying, eat your chicken, it has great protein.
Mhm.
You just have more tofu.
More beans, more soybeans, more beans. Beans are a great source of protein, and vegetables have protein as well. and we don't need as much protein as the meat industry would like us to believe.
Okay. All right, so that in itself is a fallacy?
Yeah, it is. In someone that, probably a doctor or nutritionist can probably, sort of elaborate on that. But I know that is true.
I recently read in the Vegetarian Times magazine this segment. I'm going to read it now, and I'd like you to comment on it. It says, I'm raising my 5-year-old daughter to be a vegetarian. She is getting to the age when her friends are asking her over for dinner. How can she explain to the adults that she does not eat meat? And if I don't give her some coaching, she'll surely pro-offer her favorite line, I don't eat dead animals. Well, I can imagine little children doing this. So what type of advice would you give to the viewers if they're vegetarians and they're sending their children out over to friends' parents' homes, and these parents are saying, you have to have the meat, it's good for you. What should they do?
I think Peter would be...
yeah, I have a 6-year-old young boy.
Okay, and you're raising him as a vegetarian.
And he's vegetarian, yes. And if in a situation he's going out to dinner with other families, we would call ahead and tell the parents that our son is being brought up vegetarian, so they understand that it's not really in his hands. The parents desire the child to eat certain things.
Okay,
We'd take it out of the child's hands.
Right,
so they won't really question
it's the responsibility of the parents again.
Exactly.
Okay, and you agree with that?
Oh, I totally agree. A child really doesn't understand the whys and things like that. It's up to a parent adult to adult, to explain something like that.
Right. Lisa, how do the rainforests benefit from just one person becoming a vegetarian?
I believe it's by one person not eating meat that it's an acre of rainforest per year that's saved. And it's very, very important. Even though it's 1 acre, that's a lot of land.
So now, what are they cutting it down for? Grazing?
The deforestation occurs so that they could raise cattle. And after the cattle grazes on the land, they can't grow anything on it anymore. So it becomes a wasteland.
Obsolete.
Right.
And if the person were to become a vegetarian, that land would be saved?
Right.
Theoretically.
Yeah, it would be. Yes, it would be, because you're not consuming the product, and you're not creating a demand for that product, and so eventually you will make an impact.
Peter, how do you keep vegetables and grains and Lisa from getting bored of the foods?
Again, when I became a vegetarian, tofu really wasn't part of the scene. The industry hadn't gone that far. It was very primitive. I remember trying to cook soybeans and mashing them, making soy burgers, and it was a great ordeal. It was not something I'm glad I'm glad I don't have to do it anymore. Now there's so many things in a natural food store which can supplement a vegetarian diet. And instead of you want to have meat, for instance, but you don't want to consume animal products, you can buy many different things which go along with the vegetables and the different grains that you do buy. I personally it's hard for me to think about eating grains as such. I don't think that way. Rice once in a while, fine, but we do a lot with pasta, a lot
Can you
with...
show us some more products, please?
What I had for dinner this evening as I rushed out of my house. Cutlets. It took me 10 minutes to put this...
They look very good.
To put in the oven and have with string beans or with a salad, and this was my evening's dinner tonight.
And they're easy to make. You can
you
pop
just
these
pop
in the
them right
microwave.
in the oven. Most of the things are. They're as convenient as a hot dog or a hamburger or anything that you'd pop into the oven. They're very convenient.
I'm such a microwave person.
Okay.
Can they go into the microwave as well?
Oh yeah, a lot of things are microwavable. This is a savory tofu. Tofu, again, as we said earlier, is very bland in itself, and it takes some skill to learn how to prepare it properly. Something like this, you could just very quickly put in a frying pan and have something very enjoyable very quickly.
Now, I hear from several people that have tried to be vegetarians that it takes a good deal of money to keep the vegetables or the products interesting. But then again, those prices, everything seems to be reasonable, just like you would be going to the grocery store and picking up meat products or what have you. So it's relatively the same or less?
I consider it inexpensive.
It's inexpensive.
Yeah, definitely. you know, especially, there's so many things you can do with vegetables that you wouldn't even think of, you know. My grandmother cooks for me at lunch every day, okay? She knows I don't eat meat.
She's a lucky person.
Okay? No, I am lucky.
Very
Yes,
lucky.
I am. God bless her. And she's become a great, and having no previous knowledge, a great vegetarian cook. And, you know, we're Italian, so she makes all kinds of things with pastas and broccolis and garlic and this and that. And every day, you know, she just comes up with new things. She amazes me.
You drink milk and eat eggs?
Yes, I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. Although, because I do love animals, I try to stay away as much as I can from, right now, eggs.
Right.
Because the dairy cattle are treated very cruelly also. You know, I mean, their lives are horrible. And so are the chickens that lay the eggs. So really, by not eating, you know, meat, okay, I'm protecting, you know, maybe my share of the animals that are being slaughtered for meat, but the chickens, the hens, and the dairy cows are also, factory farming is a terrible thing.
Do you know about factory farming, Peter?
I know about it. I don't study it. Okay. I was very turned off when I found out preparation of veal and what the animals have to live through before they're harvested as such. But I don't really, it's not something I dwell on.
Now, aside from the philosophy and the yoga, part of your reason for being a vegetarian is your love for animals? Or a conscious effort of thought?
It's definitely, when you know more about what's happening and what the whole factory, the food factory is, it's hard to be inspired by what we're doing to our sub.
So it's really just educating the people as to what's really going on in these factories.
Right. People, if they were to see, when you have a piece of meat on your plate, you see a finished product, far, far removed from the creature that it came from. But if you were shown footage or actually visited a factory farm and saw how the animals lived, how they were treated, and how they were slaughtered, many, many people would change their mind in a drastic way. But, you know, we're kept from that.
Have you ever changed anyone's mind? Any of your
friends?
Yes,
yeah, I have.
Yeah?
I have. Couple of them are here today.
Right here in the studio.
Right here in the studio today. And, you know, I don't try to force my opinion upon anybody. You know, they just sort of see for themselves, you know, and which is great. It's the best way to change someone is by being a good influence. So I try to, you know, not be strange or not be weird or not try to be forceful. Just try to be normal.
Your wife is a vegetarian, right?
Yes, she is.
Was she a vegetarian when you met her?
Yes, she was.
Oh, she was?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you meet her?
We met through Ananda Marga, which was the yoga society that we're involved in.
So that was part of the society to begin with?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. So it's easy raising your children to be vegetarians.
Yeah, we both had the same ideology.
Right. There was no little dispute. Have you changed any of your friends' lifestyles?
I've come in contact with many, many people having a store the size we have. I've talked to lots and lots of people over the years about vegetarianism and the benefits. So I think I have.
Does your store provide guidebooks and people to help?
We have quite a few books in our vitamin department which help in learning what vegetarianism is all about. And also we have 2 or 3 cooks which are available to talk about different recipes. And we do have cooking classes in our store.
Now, when you're talking about vitamins, no matter how well balanced the diet is and the protein is up and the nutrients are up, there is that one vitamin that you should be supplementing in your diet regardless. And which vitamin is that?
I believe it's B12.
B12?
Yeah.
Is it best if somebody decides to become a vegetarian to just take B-complex?
You know, again, a nutritionist probably could, you know, elaborate, but I take a B-complex vitamin every day, and just in case. I didn't feel bad when I didn't take it, but knowing that, I take it. It's not a big deal, you know.
And you do the same?
I'm not much of a vitamin taker. I feel I can get all my vitamins from my foods.
There is no reason or excuse for killing animals this way. Chickens and turkeys are sentient animals capable of experiencing pleasure and capable of experiencing pain and suffering. At the very least, these animals deserve basic, humane considerations. To help stop the abuse of chickens and turkeys in slaughterhouses, contact your congressional representative and senators in Washington, D.C. Ask them to include poultry in the Humane Slaughter Act. Refuse to participate in these abuses by removing poultry from your diet. By eating chickens and turkeys, consumers directly subsidize this abuse. For more information about factory farming and humane alternatives, contact Farm Sanctuary. The organization has fact sheets, slideshows, photographs, and videotapes available for individuals wishing to educate others. The address is Post Office Box 150, Watkins Glen, New York, 14891.
Vegetarians have their own reasons for choosing not to eat meat, but this is not a fad of the 90s. It's not a fad from the past 20 years. It has been reported and recorded as far back as the 6th century BC with the great mathematician Pythagoras. And he once stated, "As long as men continue to be ruthless destroyers of the lower races, he will never know health and well-being and peace. For as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. And indeed, he who sows the seeds of murder and pain cannot reap love and joy." Once again, I'd like to thank our guests for joining us today on Room with the View. And please stay tuned next week for another edition.